We start here tonight at 11 with breaking news of a dangerous house fire on the 200th block of LaPorte Avenue in South Bend. The call came in around 6:15 this evening, and the crews are still on the scene as we speak. WSBT 22 Sean English joins us live from the scene. Sean, what do you know?
I spoke with Chief Buchanan, who confirmed that multiple people were inside the burning house. Now, he was unable to comment or make any recommendations of the condition of those individuals, but he did say numerous people were taken to a local hospital, and actually one person was airlifted to Fort Wayne's Hospital for their burn victim unit. The flames from this fire could be seen exiting the roof of the house with a ladder truck and ground crews attempting to extinguish this fire with multiple hoses. The flames were dangerously close to the power line towards the top of the building. Now, this fire appeared to go both in and out with large bursts of flames exiting through the roof. I have seen the fire department using a drone, which appeared to be used to safely investigate the scene. The ladder truck had a continuous water hose running until just after 9. Since being on scene, I've seen dozens of firefighters and dozens of fire trucks. Chief Buchanan also did confirm a firefighter did fall through the floor on the second story. Now, that firefighter was taken to the hospital, treated for his injuries, and has since been released. The fire chief says the investigation onto how this fire started is currently ongoing.
It's an active investigation at this time. Safe fire marshal is en route, and we don't have any confirmation now of the exact fatalities. But we do know that there were kids and adults in the residence.
As you heard, the chief used the term fatalities, but he was unable to confirm if there were any lives lost here during this fire tonight. Now, I am working to get more information, including the investigation that appears to be ongoing as we speak. When I get that information, I will update you both on air and online at WSBT.com. Live in South Bend, Sean English, WSBT 22 News.
Breaking news right now at midday, a tragic update to a deadly house fire in South Bend. Fire officials say 5 children are dead and 1 surviving child has been airlifted to a burn center in Indianapolis. The fire happened last night in the 200 block of LaPorte Avenue. WSBT 22's Raylan Lee is live at the South Bend Fire headquarters now. That's where fire officials will be holding a news conference within the hour. Raylan, what other details do we know now?
Yeah, that's right. So we just got word that South Bend Fire Department will be holding a news conference here at 12:30. WSBT will be live streaming that on WSBT.com. What we know so far about last evening's fire, around 6:15, South Bend firefighters responded to the fire in the 200 block of LaPorte Avenue, where flames were rolling out on both the first and the second floors. Now, firefighters battled the fire and at the same time rescued several people trapped on the second floor. As their rescue continued, they found 2 children and handed them off to other crews as they arrived. In total, 6 victims were rescued from the home. Tragically, 5 of those victims, all children, were later pronounced dead. Also, in the midst of fighting the fire, 1 firefighter fell through the second floor of the home. He was transported to Memorial Hospital and treated, but is expected to make a recovery. Now, investigators are searching for a cause of this fire after this last night's devastating fire. And again, fire officials will be holding a news conference here at Central Fire Station at 12:30. WSBT will be live streaming that. Live in South Bend, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
2 breaking news stories off the top for you here at 6 o'clock. On your left, we are learning more tonight about a terrible tragedy in South Bend. 5 young children killed at a house fire considered one of the deadliest in the city's history.
And on your right, live storm tracker radar showing a potentially dangerous night as freezing rain could turn local roads into an icy mess over the next several hours.
Also breaking tonight, the investigation into a devastating house fire in South Bend that killed 5 children is underway.
It happened last night in the 200 block of LaPorte Avenue. An 11-year-old currently in an Indianapolis burn center. An adult male bravely tried to rescue the kids, but was unable because of the heavy smoke and flames. We do not know his relation to those children.
WSBT 22's Raylan Lee, live for us outside South Bend Central Fire Station. And Raylan, you were at this afternoon's news conference. Department leaders talked at length about the firefight there.
That's right. South Bend Fire Chief Carl Buchanan says he couldn't be more prouder of his men and women as their actions reflected the highest level of selflessness. Now, when crews arrived, they were met with heavy smoke and flames coming from both the first and second floors. The initial report said the children were trapped upstairs. In total, 6 victims were rescued from the home. 5 died. During those efforts, 1 firefighter fell through the second floor of the home and a mayday was called, causing firefighters to search for one of their own. Luckily, that firefighter was treated and released from Memorial Hospital last night. During this afternoon's news conference, Chief Buchanan expressed how honored he is to be a part of the South Bend Fire Department. At a loss of words on the efforts made by his firefighters, he also added that their peer support team was also on the scene helping and will continue assisting firefighters' mental support.
We're talking about human lives, and the one thing on the South Bend Fire Department we care about most and foremost is about human lives, especially our own. And we want to make sure that we are taking the time to show them that not only their physical well-being is the first thing that's important to us, but their mental well-being as well.
Now, Chief Buchanan also urges all residents to check their fire alarms, not necessarily because it played a role in this fire, but as a preventative measure. Now, the cause of Sunday's fire is still under investigation by the South Bend Fire Department and the Indiana State Fire Marshal's Office. Live in South Bend, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
Community members are expressing shock and disbelief today following last night's devastating fire.
WSBT 22's Tiana Baxter continuing our live team coverage from the home on LaPorte Avenue. And Tiana, you've seen a show of support from the community tonight.
Yeah, people have been coming and going, dropping off stuffed animals, balloons, and flowers to pay their condolences to the tragic loss of 5 young children. One neighbor shares that when she saw the kids playing outdoors, she always gave them candy, describing them as kind and polite. When she saw the fire truck, she says the only thing that she could do was pray everyone got out. Another neighbor who says he's close with the homeowner says his kids played with the 5 kids. They tell me they've had a tough time also dealing with yesterday's incident, staying home from school today. He has the best thing that he could ask for the family is support from the community.
Beyond his children, he lost everything else. I gave him my coat that I was wearing last night when I went to the hospital, so he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a phone, he doesn't have socks, clothes, things like that, and so I would like the community to come together and help this man, because I want you to think about what would you do if you were in his shoes.
And I did get word there will be a GoFundMe started to cover funeral costs. That will be posted on our website at WSBT.com once it is available. For now, live in South Bend, Tiana Baxter, WSBT 22 News.
The community is coming together to support the family of 5 children killed in a house fire Sunday in South Bend.
Both South Bend Fire and the Indiana State Fire Marshal's Office continue investigating the cause. WSBT 22's Raylan Lee is live for us at the scene in the 200 block of LaPorte Avenue, and Raylan, organizers say they want to do their part in supporting the family.
Yeah, that's right. Both the owner of Top Notch Restaurant and city activist Lynn Coleman, partnering with First Source Bank, have both created ways to donate. Now, they also say they just want to show the family that they're not alone. 5 children, all under the age of 11 years old, were killed in that tragic house fire Sunday evening. One surviving victim, an 11-year-old girl, is currently in critical condition at an Indianapolis burn center. Top Notch Restaurant in South Bend has started a donation fund to go to Palmer's Funeral Home to help with funeral expenses. The restaurant owner says community is a big deal, as they're always wanting to do their part in showing support.
We're here to serve the community, and when that happened, we all got together and thought we should do something and try to help out where we could. The community is a big deal to us. We had a free Thanksgiving breakfast and dinner. We're always trying to give and help out in the community.
City activist Lynn Coleman has put together an account through First Source Bank for the family. Members of the community can stop at any First Source Bank to contribute. Coleman also adds he can't imagine going through what this family is experiencing.
We've created a memorial fund for this family, and we're asking the community to join us in making contributions, donations to this fund so that we can help the family with monetary issues. They shouldn't have to go out and ask for help. We should be coming together to provide support for them, and that's what we're trying to do.
Now, a news conference is set for tomorrow at noon at the Charles Martin Youth Center. That's where we can find out more details about the Smith Family Memorial Fund. Live in South Bend, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
We are learning new information on the devastating South Bend house fire that killed 5 siblings Sunday night and left their sister in critical condition.
And tonight we now know the names of those children. WSBT 22's Ann Laree is at the live desk with those details. And these children ranged in age from 17 months old to 11.
It's the 11-year-old Angel Smith who is still in critical condition and is being treated at a hospital in Indianapolis. She was pulled from the home that night. 5 other Smith children were all killed the evening of the 21st. That includes girls 9-year-old Davida and Faith, who was only 17 months old, and boys 10-year-old Demetis, Deontay, age 5, and D'Angelo, age 4. The father of those children, David Smith, was home at the time of the fire and tried to rescue his kids, but heavy smoke and flames drove him back. According to fire officials, he suffered minor injuries as a result. 2 firefighters were also injured that night, but are recovering. The South Bend Fire Department released all of this information today in a statement saying in part, quote, "The fire cause and origin are still under investigation at this time. South Bend fire investigators are working closely with South Bend Police and investigators from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security." South Bend Fire Chief Carl Buchanan also urges the community to keep the Smith family in your thoughts and prayers, adding you should verify those who may be soliciting funds and help on behalf of the Smith family. At the live desk, Ann Laree, WSBT 22 News.
And thank you. Meanwhile, community leaders coming together today announcing the Smith Family Memorial Fund to help support the 2 survivors.
WSBT 22's Sean English is live outside the Smith house on LaPorte Ave. Sean, many from the community working to support each other.
Yes, and embracing this grieving family as well as this community. This memorial fund was designed to create a safe and trustworthy way to donate to the Smith family. Among many, countless community leaders, David Smith, the father of the 5 children who died, gathered at the Charles Martin Youth Center earlier today. Smith was joined by his neighbor, Elijah Luciano, who says the community gathering can help all who are mourning this tragic fire.
We've just consistently tried to check on them and be with them. And so his children play with my children. They're around the same age group. And so to see that and to comfort my own children has been one of the hardest things. I could tell when we went and identified them, it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life.
Donations can be made at any First Source bank under the name Smith Family Memorial Fund. Now, those looking to donate who are unable to visit the bank can do so through mail. We have that information listed under this story on our website at WSBT.com. Live in South Bend, Sean English, WSBT 22 News.
Questions and concerns continue to surface regarding the Smith Family Memorial Fund. The fund was set up to support the Smith family after 6 children died in a devastating house fire back on January 21st in South Bend. WSBT 22's Raylan Lee is live in front of that home on LaPorte Avenue. Raylan, officials in charge of the fund tell you the money will not just be given out to spend freely.
Yeah, that's right. Now, while the amount of the funds aren't being released right now, they say that the funds won't go to David Smith or the family directly. After the tragic death of 6 children in a house fire on January 21st, community members were looking for a way to support them. A memorial fund was created at First Source Bank, named the Smith Family Memorial Fund. But since then, questions have been circulating. Questions like, will the money go directly to the father, David Smith? Will it be up to Mr. Smith on how to use the funds? Fund officials say the money will go to specific needs related to services for the 6 Smith children. They are thankful that many different organizations in the community have donated to help. Other questions that we've been getting concern the mother's role in the children's lives. Officials tell me they do not know much about the mother of the 6 kids, but that she is not from South Bend and is not in the picture. Now, funds are being collected at all First Source Bank branches. The investigation for the cause of this fire is ongoing. Live in South Bend, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
The 6 young children who died in the fire will be remembered at a funeral next week. Visitation starts at 10 a.m. Monday at the Century Center in downtown South Bend. The memorial service begins at noon, followed by a private burial. The community once again coming together to help those impacted by the deadly house fire that killed those 6 children. Palmer Funeral Home will cover expenses for the services, and Wygant's Floral will be donating flowers. WSBT 22 Sean English joins us from the live desk now. And Sean, you're learning more about how these businesses are offering to help the victims and their family.
Yes, both of these companies are very involved within the South Bend community. They say they've felt the impact of this fire, which led to them offering free services to help the family. Those with Wygant's Floral say they heard the news of the tragedy and decided to step in. Many working there have families and children of their own and can't imagine the tragedy. Wygant's Floral is right in the middle of downtown South Bend, less than 1 mile away from where the fire took place at the Smith family home. Those with the flower shop say this fire has impacted their neighborhood, and they are doing their part to try and help rebuild it.
It's a really devastating loss for our community, and more especially, in this neighborhood. It's a small way to help them, but it's meaningful to us, and so if it helps them in any way, that's good for us.
The memorial collection outside the Smith family home continues to grow every day, with numerous people stopping by to say a few words. The cause of this deadly fire is still under investigation. At the live desk, Sean English, WSBT 22 News.
In the news here at 5, a somber day in South Bend as the community remembers the 6 children killed in a devastating house fire on LaPorte Avenue 2 weeks ago. We know since then that many in the community have been following this terrible tragedy. WSBT 22's Anna Reed joins us from the live desk tonight, and today's service was not only one of sadness but strength in the community.
City leaders saying while it's an impossible and unimaginable situation of tragedy, the kindness and compassion the community has shown since is nothing short of remarkable.
Jesus, he knows. Oh.
Sunday, January 21st will forever be etched in our minds and in our hearts.
6 photographs and 6 flower arrangements lining the stage for the funeral of who the family calls the Smith 6. 17-month-old Faith, 4-year-old D'Angelo, 5-year-old Deontay, 9-year-old Davita, 10-year-old Demetris, and 11-year-old Angel Smith, all killed in one of South Bend's deadliest house fires to date. The children died trapped on the 2nd floor of their home. Those siblings honored Monday during their service, joined by South Bend leaders and a few of their school principals, including Amanda Shonacki, principal at Madison Elementary, who noted Davita's love for art class and the big smile Demetrius always had on his face, but also city leaders who have helped support for the family in the days since.
Together, it's hard for us to even fathom how this can happen, why this could happen, and we all want answers for what happened.
But among the somber remembrances, words of hope. Speakers saying in the face of this tough situation, losing 6 babies, the city of South Bend has been united, raising funds, offering ministry, counseling in the schools for classmates, even sparking change for safety in our homes, an effort to prevent this from ever happening again. Some say these children have done things in their short life so many have been working for years and haven't been able to do, bringing people together across this community.
Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, young, old, rich, poor. They've connected people.
And with that, the Smith 6 are now lovingly renamed as the Phenomenal 6, in a time of tragedy, bringing one community together in hope.
He will guide us.
Some speakers also pointed to the crowd, noting some knew and loved these kids, others just there today to show respect and offer their support to the family. At the live desk, Ann Larry, WSBT 22 News.
A show of support this afternoon from the community as many joined friends and family members mourning the loss of the 6 children killed. WSBT 22's Raylan Lee is live for us outside the Century Center where those services were held. And Raylan, you talked with many who were there today.
Yeah, that's right. You could definitely feel the love and the support in today's service as many people came to pay their respects to the Smith children. The Smith children eulogized today range in age from 17 months to 11 years old. Their tragic death made an impact on the entire South Bend community. Many attending their funeral service never knew the family, but just wanted to show their support.
I don't know the family, but my heart is broken for those poor babies. I love babies, and for this family to have to go through this and bury 6 of his kids at one time is very heartbreaking to me.
Unfortunately, it's just such an unfortunate tragedy, and my heart goes out to the babies. So many lost their lives, and my heart is hurting because of it.
I also spoke with Pastor Stephen Wedgeworth at Christ Church Anglican, where Angel, Demetrius, and Davida attended. He says the 3 were always a joy to have at service.
They were always excited to be there. They came by themselves, which is always unusual. You know, you wouldn't just kids show up, but they were great. This in the front pew. They participated in the service. They knew the Lord's Prayer by heart, and we were just happy that they were there. And it was a joy. It was a blessing.
Many others I spoke with say they just want to continue to pray for the family and the community as healing continues.
We decided to show up to support the family, the community. This is a sad situation for everyone. So everyone is feeling the loss. We are praying for the family. We're praying for this community and all who have been affected by it.
Now, as the children were laid to rest this afternoon, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Live in South Bend, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
Details are finally being released in the investigation into one of South Bend's deadliest house fires. The January blaze killing 6 children at a home on LaPorte Avenue. The Indiana State Fire Marshal's office has ruled the cause of that fire undetermined. Fire officials say in an investigation of this magnitude, that ruling is normal due to a lack of evidence. WSBT 22's Raylan Lee, who has been following this investigation every step of the way, is joining us live where the home once stood. Raylan, fire officials understand the community wants clear answers, but those aren't always available.
Yeah, Juliana, unfortunately, due to the nature of this incident and the extent of the damage, there was just a lack of scientific evidence. There wasn't enough to provide a single cause. January 21st, 2023 is a day South Bend will forever mourn. A Sunday night house fire took the lives of 6 children under the age of 11, known as the Smith 6.
It's important to explain that the investigation has led to a cause undetermined.
To take you back to that day, it all started just after 6 p.m. The family was upstairs at the home on LaPorte Avenue. Surveillance video from a church across the street shows a visible glow in a window on the south side of the home at 6:08 p.m.
Nobody is aware of the fire that's going on downstairs.
As minutes pass, the fire continues to grow and spread quickly. In a video, you can see the father jump from the second-story window and try to re-enter the home, but he can't get in. By the time fire crews arrive, just 1 minute after they received the call, the home was fully engulfed.
A fire progression. The fire had spread significantly and vented through multiple windows before the fire department was even dispatched.
After thousands of hours of investigating, Fire Marshal Jones says it was found the fire started in the dining room area. Electrical items were found as a possible ignition source, but could not be proven as exactly what started it. Smoke detectors were in the home as well, but witnesses and the 911 call did not report hearing the alarms. While this fire has rocked the community and still will as time passes, fire officials say it's important to understand the need for smoke detectors.
Communities such as ours are strengthened by how they overcome adversity and come together to support one another after tragic events. Working together through public education and fire prevention will help these events from occurring more often.
Chief Buchanan emphasizes life is precious and honest conversations need to be had in order for prevention.
We should not leave here with not only that in mind, but we should leave here thinking, how can we prevent that from happening again?
Now, it's important to know that investigators found no evidence of criminal activity or arson. Moving forward, while they don't have a definitive cause, the ruling can be amended should new evidence become available. Live in South Bend, I'm Raylan Lee, WSBT 22 News.
And as the community finally gets some answers today about one of the deadliest fires in South Bend's history, questions are still being asked about a memorial fund that was set up originally to help the Smith family with living and medical expenses. Community activist Lynn Coleman spearheaded the effort for people to donate to First Source Bank. He says the money was used for funeral expenses, and we're now learning it was also used to pay rent and utilities for a year for the father of the Smith Six.
More than anything, it was not about how we could disseminate money into who and that. It was about making sure that we were respectful to those 6 young children that lost their lives.
Coleman says the Memorial Fund Committee is discussing how the remaining funds can honor the children while highlighting the importance of fire safety. As new details were presented today, members of the community were able to gain closure after that January 21st fire. One of those in attendance, David Smith, the father of the 6 children killed. WSBT 22's Nick Althoff spoke with him after the news conference.
After receiving results of the investigation that killed 6 children, the question comes, what's next? Emotions were high today as new evidence was presented about the evening of January 21st. David Smith, the father of 6 children killed in the fire, watched as the timeline of the night his home caught fire unfolded.
Well, I'm getting back stronger until today. It brought back a whole lot of memories and emotions. But otherwise, I've been taking day by day and, working, doing what I can to keep my mind busy.
In this surveillance video, Smith can be seen climbing out the side of a window to escape the fire, then trying to get back inside the home to save his children. Kenneth Lee, South Bend 1st District Councilman, says a discussion still needs to be held regarding the property and tells WSBT a plan to memorialize the children is part of that discussion. Lee says the evidence showed Smith did all he could for his children.
Although today is a somber day for our community as we relive this, it's also important to see that this father now has the answers, and our thoughts and prayers are with him.
Not all in attendance felt every question was answered regarding the fire. Reverend Sylvester Williams Jr., head of WSBS, says he applauds Smith for trying to get back into the home to rescue the children, but says he still has questions surrounding the funds raised to help the family.
I feel that all the questions was answered by the fire marshal, but the question about the money that was raised for this family is still a missing component, because he didn't, as to what he was saying, get his share or get the money that was raised for the family.
Smith says moving forward, he'll be taking it one day at a time. In South Bend, I'm Nick Althoff, WSBT 22 News.